What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Vechain today. V-E-T-U, Vetcha, baby. We're talking about it. It is the 9th day of October today, and here we are at about 2.2 cents. We've got some exciting things to talk about, some interesting perspectives, and of course, I'm going to give you guys my price predictions, where I think we're going ultimately, which, hint, hint, spoiler alert, it will be new all-time highs. Vechain will see new all-time highs. Undoubtedly, this is an accumulative phase right here, where you've seen a little taste here. The next move that you're getting set up for will be the biggest move we've seen all cycle, and it'll likely propel us higher again to new all-time highs. Inevitably, that's where we're going to go. Just for reference sake, let's just see what would new all-time highs mean from the current price of 2.2 cents. That would mean that we see something that is at least a 12x from here, right? Is that okay? Could anybody use a 12x in their funds? Anybody? If you could, Vechain I think is a very safe bet. Very, very safe bet. We're going to get into the price stuff, but first I want to play something for you here from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Dana White. He is all in on Vechain. This clip is from my new long-form podcast with Vet founder Sonny Liu. AJ writes crypto. Oh, really? This clip is from his new... Did he... Oh, wow. So did he have a podcast with Sonny Liu and with Dana White? I'm curious. Good job, AJ, getting some people on it. That's awesome, man. Let me see. Shout out to AJ Writes Crypto, man. I've been following him since he started his channel. Really, I was probably one of the first subscribers, genuinely. What were we going over? Enough of my vanity. We were going to play this, and I'm going to mute my microphone. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Hold on. Let me make sure you guys can hear it. Okay, ready? We're going 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
I actually bought almost $1 million worth of Vechain. The only crypto I own, it's the only crypto I've ever bought. Yeah, I'm all in.
Dana White, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. We cleaned up a beach with him in Miami. I was fortunate enough to interview him. Since that interview, he has publicly purchased and talked about buying $1 million in Vechain.
Yeah.
And he's a brand advisor for Vechain.
Yeah.
One of the most powerful men in the world.
Yeah.
Name another layer one that is publicly marketing to a global viewership of over 90 million people. With the UFC, Power Slap, bull riding, WWE. It's extremely impressive.
He said, Sonny, I like what you do. I like what Vechain's doing. I don't know anything about crypto, but I understand what you're doing. I want to support you. I want to go all in Vechain.
I actually bought almost $1 million.
So that's pretty cool, right, guys? That's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, it's not just the likes of you and me and AJ Writes Crypto who, you know, people are hearing this from. If we look at Cryptos R Us, George, one of the OGs in the crypto space, he's probably been around in crypto just as long, if not even longer than me. He's got 290,000 followers. He's posting about this as well. So you've got some of these prominent figures. AJ Writes Crypto. How many followers does AJ have? I was going to say, I know it's not hundreds of thousands, but yeah, 71. He's got a lot. He doesn't have as much on YouTube, but he's got a bigger presence on X. Anyways, one last shout out to both of these legends, Cryptos R Us and AJ Writes Crypto, and Dana White, of course. All these people supporting Vechain, and look, it's not doing anything, right? A lot of people. Let me explain something to you guys right now. If you're looking to invest into Vechain, okay, let me explain something to you right now. Do you ever notice how? Let's do this. I've got a perfect example, actually. You ready? You ready for this? You're not ready. We'll do the perpetuals. That way that there's more historical data. Do you guys notice how nobody talked about Aster down here, but everybody, all the major accounts on YouTube, everybody, all your crypto famous people were talking about Aster here? Did you notice that, right? They didn't talk about it at the lows. They didn't talk about it before it became what it was. No, there was no talk about that, but they coincidentally talked about it at the highs, right? Those are what we call money grabs. And it's very obvious, right? Of course, all the major influencers are going to talk about the big thing, whatever it is, it's worth multiple billions of dollars in its first week of existence. All the major influencers are going to make it sound like that's something you can make money with. But every time that happens, it's with a coin that's already pumped. It's with a coin that's at relative high points. Aren't you tired of influential people telling you to buy a project that's at a high point, right? Aren't you tired of that? Guess what? You've got 3 influential people, 4, including me. I mean, I don't know how influential I am. I've got 50,000 subs, which is nice on YouTube. It's great, but not as much as some of these people have, right? Dana White, Cryptos R Us, AJ Writes Crypto, and others, right? They're giving you the DL at these prices. before it rips, before the big rip, right? These are the kind of people that I like to pay attention to, at least in crypto, right? That's the good call, right? Some people like to make calls that they're paid for, and some like to make calls that will pay them. You know what I mean? Like that's and I want to be clear on that. I'm not saying that they're making these calls to get paid, right? I'm not being paid to talk about this. I don't know if any of these other people are. I'm not speaking to them. I'm just saying I'm talking about this as well as I think all these other very educated individuals when it comes to crypto. I think they're all talking about this now because it's worth talking about. There's something going on here. And I assume, Dana White's a very successful businessman. I would assume that he's not going to partner up with somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. And I think Sonny Liu is probably, I think that probably speaks to his character, at least as a developer, as a project manager, as a founder, whatever. If we take this from a high to a low, I told you guys in the beginning that I thought Vechain would see new all-time highs, that we'd be going to new all-time highs. My expectation, undoubtedly, is that not only will you see new all-time highs, not only would you get that minimum of about an 11x, 12x potential, but the true, actual minimum target would be 60 cents. That's your first target, right? That's the 1272. We take this from our all-time history. We go to the very first high that we had back here in the very beginning days of Vechain's existence to the low that you had in that COVID crash in March, right? High to low. Come on now. High to low. You went through your 1618 golden extension. You went all the way up there. Okay. You went all the way up through to your golden ratio, all the way up through there. So calling for the 1272, I hope, is understandable, right? You've got hold on, I got to sneeze. Ah, damn it went away. That's so sad. I love sneezing. You got about a $2 billion market cap right now, just shy, but we're going to round, okay? 1.9 billion, but 2 billion, let's say. $2 billion market cap now, a 26x from here would give you about a $50 billion market cap. Just over a $50 billion market cap, right? 27x, sorry. $50 billion. I think Vechain will see a market cap. Mark my words, okay? I think Vechain will see a market cap that is either worth over $100 billion by the end of this cycle, or worth multiple hundreds of billions of dollars, over 200 billion. You're either going to be worth over 100 billion or multi-$100 billion asset by the end of this cycle, which $100 billion from here would basically be right there at about $1.12. A 50x. 50x from here, being at a rough $2 billion market cap right now, would give you a $100 billion valuation. So, little fun fact here, $100 billion in market cap valuation, that's a psychological point of resistance, okay? $1 is also a psychological point of resistance. So you've got $100 billion and $1 lining up very, very close together. And beyond all that, you have the 1414 here. Now, this target is just above the 1414, but if you've been following my channel at all, if you know anything about Fibonacci's at all, Fibonacci extensions, retracements at all, you know that the 1414 typically is not something that you respect to a T. Typically, what you do is you actually wick a little bit above it. If you see the 1-4, let's see if we have any of those examples right here, real quick. Let me just see. High to low right here. Getting it on the low there. Yeah, perfect example right here. And you did continue up to your golden ratio, but this first interaction right here, notice how you wicked above the 1414 and then you closed below it. You found support at the 1272 and then you moved up. Do you see it right there? It's a very common interaction, what I'm talking about, to go just above the 1414. So wouldn't that be a perfect high? $1. Just right there at $1. That's perfect. But here's the kicker. It doesn't stop there. $1 is great, but the golden ratio is all the way up here at $1.68. $1 is great. How about $1.68? That's a 77x from the current price. And these are all future prospects. These are by the end of the cycle. I'm not thinking this will happen by the end of this year of 2025. I think this cycle continues into Q2 of 2026. I believe that March, April, January, February, March. March is still Q1 technically. April and May, March, April, May, maybe late Q1. March, April, May will be the time that this cycle tops off for the average altcoin and for Vechain too, which I would fully expect that you're in this area. I personally would call that Vechain will either hit prices just below $1, just above $1, or likely $1.70 by the end of the cycle. 77x gives you about $144 billion market cap valuation. But I did say you could go higher, right? We could see something all the way up at a $3.75 price $5.28 price, we could see something all the way up here, and that would give us a multi-$100 billion valuation. That would actually put you probably about $300 billion right there. Crazy stuff. Could you see something in between? It's possible, right? You might line up with other Fibonacci retracement or extensions as well. But that's thinking forward, more looking right in front of us, right? Look at the congruence here with the 3618, all these the 2618s right here. You've got other fibs that line up very well with this relative cycle high to the low that we just had back in April. There's a lot of congruence here at this $1 to even a $5.30 target area all throughout this, right? It's a very big range for something that's worth 2.2 cents right now. I'm very confident that we stop somewhere between probably about like $1 to $1.70. I'm leaning toward that $1.70. Maybe you wick a little bit higher. Maybe you do reach for $2 without quite getting there. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Talking about the more immediate stuff, focusing on this move ahead, Vechain right now, guys, it reminds me of this. Do you see this right here? How you were just at this little nozzle and then you broke out, right? You were, I mean, maybe not over here. We don't have that same, maybe right here. This is a good example right here. You're at this like little tightening point right here and then you broke out. It reminds me of moments like that, what we're doing right here. It's as if we've got this tightening point here and we're about to break. We're about to break. And maybe that breakout is just like this. Maybe it's slower. But overall, regardless of how fast it is, I think it's going to be a bigger play. It's going to be a much bigger play. If we look at this here from an all-time high perspective to our cycle low back in June of 2023, high to low, you've clearly been accumulating. Higher lows throughout all this, higher highs throughout all this. Clearly, you've been in a cumulative phase, right? It's ugly, it's volatile, but clearly accumulative. Right? You take the elevator up, you take the stairs down, as they say. Escalator up, stairs down, as they say. You've interacted with the golden ratio once, and no, you did not touch it, but this is an interaction nonetheless because you got very close. And I would think that this next move takes us not to the golden ratio, but through it, probably to the 786, 886 area, because I would count that as an interaction already. So my thought here to complete the full circle, beyond where I think we're going by the end of the cycle, by the end of this month of October, going into November, maybe. If not by the end of October, mid-November, within the next, let's say, 4 to 6 weeks, I anticipate Vechain will see a 6 to 8x move. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it just started hailing at my house here. It's probably going to be some thunder, too. Typically, when hail comes out of nowhere like this, we get some lightning and some thunder. I don't hear anything yet, though. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's kind of cool. I love the sound of rain, man. Anyways, guys, I am expecting that we see something on the lines of a 14-cent to a 19-cent price somewhere at these points of resistance by the end of this next phase higher, which, again, I assume will be sometime in late October, if not mid-November. Going into the end of the year, we should be pushing new all-time highs, and the rest is history. You know what it is. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. There is no short-term analysis. The short-term analysis is buy now or rest in pieces. Take care. Bye-bye.